All right, go ahead.
Hi, Miss McPherson.
Hello, please call me Kelly.
Kelly, it's so great to see you
It's great
again.
to see you. Please have a seat.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. The weather has finally cleared up.
I know. It's finally coming fall.
Yeah, exactly. Here's my card.
Awesome.
If you need anything, my phone number, email, everything's there.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm so glad that we are able to get together today, especially after meeting at the symposium. That place is a little crazy, so I'm glad that we have some time to chat today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And 20 minutes, is that your max?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay, perfect. So I'll make sure to keep it succinct.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone else that you want to be in this meeting today, or is this good?
Not today, just me.
Okay, yeah, great. So I created, to make the most of our time and have it to be most efficient, I created a little agenda that we can go through.
Okay.
So I actually have people who, different companies and folks that I know who are in the same industry as you, and I also talked to Mike, your VP of Sales, just to get some information specifically on EPC, and then did my own research sort of separate from that. And have some background knowledge as to the pipeline industry and that sort of thing.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, but with all that, I still have some questions for you. But anyway, let's go through the agenda really quick. So again, those questions. I would love to ask you a few things to gain a little bit better understanding of your specific business. So go ahead and do that first, and then secondly, I'll demonstrate some quick benefits of Salesforce. It'll only take a few minutes. And then lastly, we'll discuss the cost and opportunities of Salesforce with APC. Is there anything that you want to add to that? Or?
That sounds great.
Okay.
Awesome.
Great. Sounds good. So like I said, after I did some of my own research and again talked to Mike, there's a few things that I started to think about when I started thinking about the things that you care about, benefits of Salesforce, that sort of thing. So I'd love to just confirm a few numbers from you, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So how many salespeople do you have at your organization? From my calculations, I saw that you have 9 salespeople per region and 70 regions. 5 of those salespeople at those individual regions are sort of on the ground salespeople.
Yes.
And then 4 of them are managers.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you have 350 on the ground total, and then 280 managers. Is that correct?
Sounds about right.
Okay. Fantastic. And just confirming their cost, the cost of the employees as well. I talked to Mike again, but just making sure. On the ground salespeople, he said, made $75 an hour. Is that correct? Okay. And then your managers make $100 an hour. Okay, great. So I know one of your big issues was your current tracking system. So could you tell me a bit more about that? How do your salespeople track their accounts right now? What does that look like?
Absolutely. So because of the amount of growth that we've had in the past 5 years, our sales tracking system is just not up to par. Our salespeople definitely don't do it all the same.
Right.
Some of our salespeople will do Excel. Some of our more old-fashioned salespeople will have giant books full of all their sales accounts. So it really just depends on the salesperson. It really depends on the manager. But Excel, paper, on their phones, on their computers.
Okay. So there's not really a set system in place to align everyone, or?
No.
No, okay. Great. And how do you feel about how they're tracking those accounts right now? I mean, I know obviously that is a bit of an issue for you, but do you see that as a big issue for you? How do you feel about that?
Definitely. So we are definitely in the market for a CRM system that will help with this, because I really feel like we could be much more efficient if we were all on the same page.
Right. Absolutely. And do you know, just estimating how much time it takes them each week to go through those accounts, to track those accounts, whether they put it in Excel or on paper? Do you have sort of an estimated amount of time?
Definitely quite a bit of time. I would say on average probably 10 hours or 15 hours a week.
15 hours a week?
15 hours a week,
Okay,
for sure.
yeah. So I'll just do some quick calculations. And all of your salespeople do this, correct? Your managers and your on the ground?
Yes.
They all track their account. Okay, great.
Yes.
So you have 350 on the ground at $75 an hour. And they're spending 15 hours a week tracking these accounts. So that would cost about, let me just double check my math here. That would cost about $393,000 a week, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then your managers, 280 at $100 would cost $420,000 a week of their time. Okay, great. Now, I know one of the other issues with, tracking those accounts is, from talking to my communication between departments. Is that an issue with you? How do your marketing and your sales departments communicate with each other about tracking those accounts?
So, in order for our salespeople to communicate with our other departments, they kind of have to take initiative on their own hands. And if Molly from my sales team wants to talk to Melissa from my marketing team, Molly has to email Melissa, and Melissa may take a few days to get back, or Melissa may take a lot of time. So Molly may waste a lot of time trying to get in touch with the marketing department.
Okay, and it's normally a few days that it takes.
Yeah, and a few attempts to really get an accurate response.
Okay, gotcha.
And everything that they need.
And project management as well. So, sales tracking, but also project management. Is that an issue in that same area with marketing and sales?
I would say so, yes.
Yeah, okay. So, with the response time being slow, does that hurt the communication between sales and their accounts, or is marketing needed in order for sales to reach out to the accounts? What does that look like?
I think that definitely affects the way that our clients are treated by our salespeople, because our salespeople need information from other departments in order to fully fulfill the sales orders.
Right. Okay, great. And so, just doing some more quick calculations. How much time do you think it takes sales and marketing each week? It takes your salespeople each week to communicate with marketing and go back and forth with them on those orders. Mike said that they have to communicate about every single order and transaction.
If you take into account all of the different departments that they speak with, I would probably say it would take about 10 hours of their week communicating in other departments.
10 hours a week?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Great. So, 350 at $75 an hour times 10 is $262,000 a week. So just want to put those numbers there to start thinking about what this is costing your organization. And the other thing during my research and talking to people from your organization is there is sort of a lack of order to delivery fulfillment. There's a piece sort of missing there, some sort of inefficiency. So could you tell me a bit more about that? Was there any, Mike mentioned there might be some customer satisfaction issues.
I think it's just difficult to keep track of the amount of accounts that we have and
Right.
the differing needs that they have. So there's just not really a system in place for our salespeople to stay on top of them.
Do you think that you lost accounts from this, lack of order delivery process?
Our records do show that we lost 10 accounts in the past year.
Gotcha.
Some of our smaller and average size accounts.
Okay.
But I think those are kind of the ones that seem to fall on the wayside, the smaller accounts.
Right, yeah, kind of fall through the cracks a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the average deal size for those accounts? Do you have a number for that?
Probably $2 million.
Okay, great. And you said that there were 10 accounts that you lost last year? Okay. So I'm just going to do a few more calculations.
Great.
So 2 million times 10 is 20 million. Okay, fantastic. So now I'd love to sort of get your hands on the application and go through some of the benefits of Salesforce that I think will be able to address some of these problems that you have.
Okay.
So the problems of communication between departments, lack of order to delivery fulfillment, and some sort of wasted time with inefficiencies in sales tracking. Is that okay?
Yeah, I would
Okay,
love to
great.
do that.
So as you can see from this system, I created a sort of dummy system for you to be able to play with.
Awesome.
So if you want to go ahead and click on American Waterworks Association, then this is what the account will look like for each salesperson. And so they can totally, all these graphics and everything, all of that will change based on the salesperson. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So if you go ahead and click under the accounts button there, and then click on chatter, you'll see that marketing and sales can see the same thing. So those issues that you were having with the communication between departments are hardly an issue here because you're able to see everything with a click of a button or a quick send of a message. So I know that you have plants in Turkey and all over the US, and so I'm sure that those international marketing and sales communications can sometimes get a bit confusing. So everyone can see the same thing here. And then if you go into reports, you can see all of the reports and created by me, and then you'll be able to see all of the accounts and how you can just track them efficiency. And so every single account will be in here for your salespeople. Everything will be in the same place, and their managers will be able to look at this and know exactly what's going on.
Very good.
What do you think about all of it?
It's definitely a need of ours.
Yeah.
And this would definitely satisfy some of the problems that we're having.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's pretty clean and simple and easy to use. And we can definitely go through this a bit more at length if you're interested. But now third part of my agenda, just to make sure we get you out of here on time, is to go through some of the costs. So after those numbers that I calculated during just while we were chatting, those numbers would be 393,000 per week plus 420,000 per week, and those are from both of your on the ground salespeople and your managers, and sort of the inefficiencies of their time. So per year, that would be $20.48 million
For the year.
for the year. And then adding that with the inefficiencies of communication, that would be 42.3 million per year. And then adding that with those 10 lost accounts worth on average $2 million each, that would be plus 20 million, which would equal $82 million per year. What do you think about that number?
It's definitely higher than I even realized. It's funny how you don't really realize how much you're losing, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll just go through. Sorry.
No, it's definitely something I want to solve.
Yeah, absolutely. So the cost of Salesforce is $1,800 per year per license. And so you have a total of 630 salespeople. And so at $1,800 per license, that would be $1.13 million per year. Which, in comparison to that larger number, is not that big of an amount. It is a lot of money, I totally understand. But thinking about it, sort of opportunity costs, it's pretty exciting.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, do you have any other questions for me that I can help answer, or anything at all?
I don't think so.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think this is definitely good information. And
Okay.
I think that Salesforce definitely has a lot of potential to help us out.
Yeah.
I would love to set up another meeting and maybe run these numbers by our CFO or continue to talk.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a contract here. Obviously, that's totally okay if you can't sign today. Would love to set up a meeting with your CFO and talk next week.
That would be great.
Does next Tuesday work for you?
Yeah, that's awesome.
How 2 p.m. around that time?
Yes.
Okay,
That
great.
sounds great.
All right. Well, Ms. McPherson, thank you so much for meeting with me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I wish that I was checking I have no idea how long that is.